Hello, I'm Sophia Lou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys, and welcome to this week's video in which we answer to the old question, is using references cheating? Now what we're going to talk about when we're talking about references is we're not just going to talk about how to reference a drawing, or we're talking in particular about posing. Now I get a lot of people that say, surely you should be able to draw things without using a reference. And I'm going to tell you now, everyone uses references. Whether or not you are using film, whether or not you are writing, whether or not you are doing a piece of animation, everyone references. Looking through these small handful of art books, you can see that people have referenced their material. They have researched their part into what they want to do. The Disney greats, the animation greats, the story writers, the illustrators, everyone has researched in order to understand what they are building and what kind of story they are creating. So when someone says to you, hang on a minute, you used a reference for that pose, you are cheating, they are wrong. I use references all the time in my illustrations because I don't understand 9 times out of 10 how something works. When I draw my birds, I am referencing them. I am breaking down the illustration. I am breaking down how the mechanics of the bird works into simple shapes so that I can understand how to draw them in the future. I am constantly referencing, whether or not I am referencing real life or referencing how other people have done things. Now when we're talking about posing, you can break your body down into simple shapes. Now when I'm breaking the body down, I do a very simple skeleton, which I then build up again and again. Now if you build up your skeleton too stiff, it doesn't have any life, and this is where life drawing lessons come into play, as well as your reference material. And what I mean by referencing is I don't mean directly copying the thing bit for bit, word for word, because you don't learn anything from that way. When you are life drawing, when you are referencing something, you are essentially breaking down the body into very simple shapes. I'm going to show you the websites that I use because I can't always make it to life drawing class lessons in order to be able to understand how the human body works better. Now I don't mean that you have to break everything down. I don't mean you have to break it down into skeletons, you don't have to break it down to muscles, but this and these features do help you understand whether or not you are going for a more cartoony style or whether or not you're going for a more animated, whether or not you're going to do an anime style or whether or not you're going for something with simple shapes. Every single artist has understood how the body works in order to be able to illustrate something amazing. Even the illustration greats, every single one of them has understood the material before they've gone round to actually drawing the full thing. Now the picture that I just drew there was very stiff, but I'm showing you here great examples. This is Alphonse Mucha. Alphonse Mucha is a huge inspiration with my work, and you can see like all the references he used people, he used photographs, he used the stuff around him to create his illustration, to create his work. And if he didn't reference, he wouldn't have the amazing illustration stuff that he has today. So if you're after good websites that you can use in order to be able to build up your repertoire, I use 2 websites in particular. I use Pose Maniacs, which doesn't always work on a tablet because you do need a flash player, but they are really good for breaking down the body into muscle forms, which will really help you break down the body into simple shapes. Another good website to use is Senshi-Stock. Now Senshi-Stock originally started up on DeviantArt, and she does have an amazing repertoire of stuff that you can buy from her. However, what the tool I really love using is Senshi-Sketch. Now Senshi-Sketch essentially gives you a pose to work on, and it gives you a timer. You can set the timer limit anything from 15 seconds up to 30 minutes, I think it is. And you can also set what kind of reference you want as well, whether or not you want male, female, whether or not you would prefer a larger person, a smaller person. And as well, like, she does have a Patreon, which I fully support. I think like being able to have all this material is so worth, and I'm no way sponsored by her in any way, shape or form. It's just that I think it's such a fantastic source of material to do. Now I'm just showing you here like how I break down the body works in my sketchbooks. I do a very quick light sketch, understanding how the body breaks down into simple shapes, and then I build that up. Now if I was doing it as a 30-second, I would only break it down into simple shapes, but the more time you give yourself, the more time you can build up. However, if you want to get better at learning how to do body work, the best way to do is give yourself a very short time period to very quickly sketch out these references. Now, why do people say that using reference is bad? I think people believe that as an illustrator or as an artist, you should be able to draw something without actually having the thing right in front of you, to use your imagination, so to speak. But there are flaws within doing that. Yes, most of the time when I'm drawing, I don't really use a reference. But if I'm really struggling with a pose, or if I'm not able to understand how that works, I will reference material, I will sketch it up until I have a finalized pose. If you don't have access to the internet, or if you don't have access to be able to look at these websites, take a picture, get yourself your camera set up a self timer, and take several reference shots of yourself. If you want good facial expressions, get yourself a handheld mirror and pull the facial expression yourself. These are all tips that I've used in my material to be able to build up my repertoire. Now I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to perspective, when it comes to posing. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to doing mail formats. I still have a lot to learn to understand how everything works, and the only way I can do that is through my research and through my referencing. So if anyone tells you that referencing is wrong, that is, I'm going to say this very politely, the biggest wad of anything that anyone could say, because any good person who knows their salt knows that referencing is a great source material to be able to use. So what's the difference between referencing and copying? Now referencing, you are actually breaking down the body into very simple shapes to understand how it works. Another good thing as well is to when you are looking at it, when you're breaking it down, how can I move this? How can I make this so it suits my character a bit more? Which is all to do with body posture, which I will touch on another video on how body posture can completely change a character. As well, one of the things I really do love to do is I really like to make sure I've understood the reference material before I apply it to my work. Now I don't directly copy. I can't directly copy, because I would not learn that way. Now directly copying you can learn and you can understand, but by breaking it down into simple shapes means that you'll be able to draw these poses time and time again without needing to use a lot of reference. I hope this has kind of helped in somewhat of a way, and I really hope that you guys check out these websites. I will leave links down below. Pose Maniacs and Century Stock are a fantastic, great source of material that I highly recommend to anyone any day. I really hope you guys use these in your work, and I really hope you apply these situations to your work, and don't ever feel that referencing is wrong. It's one of the ways that you can really help improve your work. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Maybe subscribe to me if you wish to see more content like this, and maybe next time we can touch on another subject. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see next. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Keep on drawing, and as always, stay creative.